Just today, Pirate Nation posted on X that YouTube is going to implement an ID check for the United States starting August 13th. And it's all on the heels of the UK's child safety bill, which became law. And now UK has become big brother to the entire internet. I told you this internet is changing in a quick pace to becoming more strict than ever. And this is no exception. You see right here, this was part of YouTube's news, and Pirate Nation showed that to the entire world. Starting August 13th, we'll extend team protections to US users we now estimate to be under 18. Protections include enabled digital well-being tools, showing only non-personalized ads, and more. This means that being forced by the United Kingdom's new law, they're now expanding this hypocrisy of a law to everyone. And pretty soon the entire world is going to have to show their IDs somehow and prove they're over 18. Like, age verification's not enough. But yes, this is a thing, and we're all cautioned for. Now, there is a certain YouTuber who's talking about this, and he explains it a lot more than me. I'm sure a lot of you will want to go to his YouTube, watch his videos, watch his recent videos about this. It is such a spectacular form, and how he tells you how to fight back. This is a war on the internet. As I like to call it, a cyber warfare on freedoms that we have. So I'd like you all to follow.
Shalom, Nasrallah, Kahalayam La, Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, Kakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles again, Milson, and teach me well. Peace and salutations be to the hopeful elect. I'm Brother Altazawam, coming at you from the Prophets in Babylon camp here in Tampa, Florida. This lesson is going to be going into YouTube to require ID starting August 13th. All right. Now, let's see if I can find anything of an article, such as an article about it. But I've seen a video on Instagram of this guy speaking on it. So let's see. Yep, it says. Yeah, they just posted this yesterday. He was quick. It says YouTube's new AI age verification is coming soon. Here's what's going to change. AI will assess whether an account belongs to an adult or a teen. YouTube is going to start relying on AI to determine whether or not an account belongs to a teen or an adult, and take actions as a result. So look, as Trump has just made it to where AI has paid all this money for AI to be regulated, they just said YouTube is now going to start relying on AI to verify users. And brothers be posting on YouTube. Brothers, do lessons and upload on YouTube, do lives on YouTube. Okay, so they're about to really put you into that database. If you aren't already, they're about to really put you into that database on what kind of person you are. All right, and AI is able to assess the type of content you post and report it and label you according to America's laws. Right now, this is news to me because my job just started regulating AI as well, and it changed the way our whole job functions now. All right, a lot more, which it was intended to make our job a lot easier, but for many it's made it a lot harder. Okay, there are veterans working here who now have to work a lot harder than they were before. Okay, the system is designed to make you work longer instead of because men used to get off. They was so good at doing the route that they do. They was able to get off 5 to 6 hours, maybe 4 hours sometimes, depending on how many stops they had, how much cases or whatever. But now, when we had a work meeting, and in the work meeting they explained to us that AI is pretty much taking over the whole routing system, and whatever we want to say about it, they're not going to change it. Pretty much, this is basically the new way of that job. Okay, and they've incorporated it in different locations already around the country. So that's something that they're not throwing away. So this AI has become a thing so powerful now, as Trump made it to. Most jobs are now going to be regulating, and now you have YouTube regulating AI and relying on AI. You know, my job relies on AI, and I saw how my whole job changed. I've been working there, so I saw how it's changed after the AI transition, man. So as you see, this whole world is transitioning to an AI regulated world. Otherwise, the NWO, the New World Order, is going to be based upon AI. I remember having a vision one time of living outside the city, and I was outside on the outskirts, and an officer came, a female officer. This was a wild dream, man, but it was all through the spirit. A female officer came through the area where I was living, and I was there with a few other men. Okay, and we captured her. Pretty much, we captured this female officer. All right, and she was afraid. We told her we're not going to hurt her. We just needed information, pretty much. Okay, because one of our men were captured. One of the men that were with us were captured and taken into the city. All right, and we said we told her we were gonna use her as cover to get into the city and get him back, pretty much. And while she was taking us there, she ended up updating us on what's been happening in the city since we left it. And she was explaining to us how basically everything is very, very controlled now. Okay, and you can't escape the sight of the government. You can't escape his eyes, pretty much. This devil pretty much put his eyes in every place. All right, and we were outcasts of society. Okay, so when we got into the city, I was able to see for myself. There was cameras on and these weren't just ordinary cameras. These were AI cameras, AI regulated cameras. There were cameras on every building. Okay, multiple, not just one camera on a building, multiple cameras on every building. Okay, in the city. All right, and these cameras didn't just look at you. They will look at you, identify who you were, and immediately report you to the cops or whatever. If you were not in their system, if you were not in their database. So if you were not recognized as a citizen in their database, they will automatically report you. And before you know it, there was drones. They reported me, and there was drones over my head. And the actual human cops were coming too. But the drones got there before the human cops did. Okay, I remember having to take cover. The female cop ended up siding with us because on the way there, she was telling us how she doesn't agree with this new way of life, but it's her job and how she makes money. And about how she pretty much looked up to us and you want to be like us, pretty much. She ended up helping us. Okay, we ended up how do you say it? I wouldn't say convince. It's somewhere on the lines of influence. Inspired Salakia and Tawadi Shai. We basically inspired her to side with us, and not by persuading her, but by explaining to her the truth, what's really going on, what's happening. And she understood, she locked in, and she was helping us shoot. She was shooting at the drones for us and shooting at the officers. I believe the officer, she also got shot and killed. Okay, but we escaped. And I remember going through the city, and I was seeing, it's hard to recall, but I saw basically somebody against the wall getting attacked. I can't recall how it was going down, but it was something significant about this that made me recall it when I was explaining it to the brethren. The way he was getting attacked and what was being said while he was being attacked, I can't recall that, so I won't speak on it. So like it, if the Lord brings it back to remembrance, then I will. But as I was watching that happening, I don't know if it was officers. See, I can't recall it, but it was something significant about it that I had to recall. But as I was watching it, I was also able to see. I gazed around the city a little bit, and I saw that all these buildings were riddled with AI cameras. Everything was very heavily controlled. It was swarms of drones. It would be like groups of drones that are floating in the sky down one street and basically patrolling the city. Okay, but when one of those cameras caught something suspicious, all those drones were alerted, and they immediately swarmed that area. And these drones were stupid fast. It's not like a cop car racing there, or a motorcycle racing there, or a cop running on foot. These were basically the new policemen. Okay, the new policemen were drones, AI drones, and yet they still had actual policemen to tend to, like, I don't know, I guess more difficult jobs that drones can't handle. But they had these drones that were the top. They were basically the top men of that force. Okay, in which they Slacky, let me grab a scripture. It's been too long without grabbing the scripture already. In the book of I believe that's Matthew 24 and 20. Matthew chapter 24 and verse 25. Let's see, you may start at yeah, we'll just do verse 25. We're not trying to get too deep into the point, but basically Yahawashi prophesied of this as well. Okay, the things that are coming. There's a certain time coming in the world where it's going to be very strict and it's going to be very hard to survive. You're going to have to be an outcast of society if you want to follow Yahawashi. Matthew 24 and 25 in the NLT. See, I have warned you about this ahead of time. Let's see. There was another one. I've told you these things. Let me see if I can grab the whole chapter, because Alright, so this is the book of John, chapter 16 and verse John chapter 16 and verse 4. And in the NLT, it says, "Yes, I'm telling you these things now, so that when they happen, you will remember my warning. I didn't tell you earlier because I was going to be with you for a while longer." Right? So the Lord was explaining the type of times we're coming into. And when we enter into those times, you're going to remember, man, this is scriptural. Something about this in the scriptures just hits. And really, all the scriptures are the word of YAHAWASHI. So, yeah, it may have been written by Paul, maybe written by John the Revelator, maybe written by Moses. But guess what? It was all through inspiration of the Spirit, which YAHAWASHI gave. Okay, so these are really YAHAWASHI's words. When you read these scriptures, you're reading YAHAWASHI's words written down by these men. All right? But when these things come to pass, everybody going to think back to the scriptures. Everybody going to remember, man, this was written down. AI being regulated by YouTube. What? YouTube heavily rely on AI now. What? So all these jobs are basically giving up ownership to what? That beast system, man. Okay? Because AI is a part of that beast system. Okay? It's going to heavily enforce that NWO, the beast's image, okay, is going to heavily enforce that, man, which is Rome's ways revived. All right, and these drones in Nigeria, these drones didn't pull up asking questions. They pulled up to get rid of you, okay. And I just thought it was spiritual because we were on the outskirts of the city, man, and we were in like a hill. Like in the mountains, I wouldn't say the mountain, like in a hill somewhere. Just basically camping out right outside the city, not too far from the city. And we captured a female officer, and yeah, she took us through the city to go get our brother, and we went and found him, and we retrieved him, and we got out of there, man. I don't recall getting out of there, but I do remember seeing his face, and he was in there, and he was basically in a I wouldn't say a prison, but it was like a big room, a building where they kept a bunch of men. Okay. Well, I guess they're prisoners. They kept a bunch of prisoners, but I don't think these were actual prisoners. I think these were men that went against the system or didn't accept the system. Okay, but I found one of the brothers in there, and I went and grabbed him. I was joyful to see him, but it wasn't without very difficult. It wasn't without a very difficult journey, man. Getting to that brother and just seeing his face. I don't even recall getting out of there. I just remember seeing his face and waking up. But very difficult journey to just make it to him because of how heavily controlled the city was. A smart city for sure. How heavily controlled and surveillance Esau had his system, man. Okay, so that's Esau's goal, is to provide heavy surveillance, okay, such as was not seen before, man. He wants to be like the Lord, YAHAWASHI. All right, let's grab it. Proverbs 15 and verse 3. The eyes of the Lord, YAHAWASHI, are in every place, beholding the evil and the good. And what did Esau say? Let's grab it. Because the scriptures say the eyes of the Most High, the eyes of YAHAWASHI are in every place. Let's see what Esau said. It's the book of Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 13. For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of YAHAWASHI. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. So that's what Esau said, and this was the Lord's response. Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. All right. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee. They're going to be squinting, trying to figure out if that's really you. That's Babylon? And consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms, that made the world as a wilderness, and destroyed the cities thereof, that opened not the house of his prisoners? He don't want to let go of his prisoners. And it's a spirit, because in that dream I went to go free one of my brothers that was held as a prisoner. Esau didn't want to let him go. In fact, they were probably going to sentence those men to death, man. Okay, if you want to stand up against Esau's system or go against him in any way, shape, or form, AI is going to be the first to report it. And this is a part of his beast system, his NWO. Now that you see it, and from my experience as well, my own job is now being regulated by AI, and the whole system has been changed. Okay, so I'm working for AI now. All right, AI is dictating how my day is going to go. Okay, and it's about to start doing the same for YouTube. You want to be a content creator, or you want to post videos on YouTube, guess what? They're going to verify you, identify you, and label you as for who and what you are. This is going to be the same thing for us brothers, man, that post lessons and do lessons on this YouTube. All right, they're about to make a great change. Things are about to get hectic really fast. And they said, what, August 13th? That's 13 days from now. That's the true date. If this is about to take place, then you got to understand that what's to follow soon after. Okay, famine of hearing the words of YAHAWASHI. If AI is about to be regulating YouTube, guess what? They also going to try to filter out the truth, which the prophets are preaching. All right. So I truly hope this lesson was edifying to you. Akim not wath, listen to truth and sincerity. Until next time, Yasharallah, I give all glory, honor, praises unto Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHWASHI, BAHASHAM, RAAHWABAN. Shalom.